The Indian Institute of Management Ahmedabad, or IIM Ahmedabad, has recently signed an MOU with the United Arab Emirates to set up a campus in Dubai. With this, IIM Ahmedabad has become the first IIM in India to start a campus abroad. Hello and welcome to The Print. This is Faria Iftikhar, and today we have with us Professor Bharat Bhasker, Director IIM Ahmedabad, to discuss the plan about its Dubai campus in detail. Welcome to The Print, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's wonderful to be here.
Same here, likewise, sir. So, first of all, we would like to know why IIM Ahmedabad decided to start its first international campus in Dubai.
We have a bit of a history with the city of Dubai because we have been experimenting with the Middle East by stationing ourselves in Dubai for almost a decade or more. It's not a new territory for us. We
Okay.
started our journey with the executive education program, and Middle East was our prime area for past 2 decades. So we tried some North African countries, etc., also in the past. But then we established ourselves in a city of Dubai, where we have been running the executive education already. Now, the
Okay.
broader question was that beyond executive education, what was the reason and why we wanted to be out of the Ahmedabad or at any other city?
Yeah.
The main reason is that, see, the globalization is at the peak, where education institutions of the rest of the world are coming into India today.
Yes.
We also need to build our global brands. IIM
Correct.
Ahmedabad, our IITs and other IIMs have been really a wonderful, competitive institutions which actually command the same level of education, same level of rigor, same level of output, which meaning the students and research output we have produced. But unfortunately, till we go out and establish ourselves abroad, the brand remains little bit confined to the South Asian region, even to some extent to the Middle East, etc., and so on. We
Correct.
wanted to be there, competing head on with the best of the institute, because we believe we are best of the we are best of the world institute sitting here in India. And so the deliberation were on that, whether internationalization or going to and having an international campus is a solution. That debate sort of was settled quite some time back within IIM Ahmedabad. But the issue was that which city and where we should go. With our
Yeah.
experimentation in Dubai, it put us in a right perspective that we understand the marketplace, we understand the city, we understand the geography of that area. Also, it's one of the most happening city today. If you see the growth of any city in past 10 years, I think no city is growing faster than in the I'm not talking the size of the city and population alone, but in the economic contribution and economic growth, it's probably one of the fastest growing city, which means lots of it's becoming a center for banking, it's center finance is becoming a center for AI and whatever is happening at the latest level of technologies. So
Correct.
once we saw that kind of environment, we believed that that was the right place for us, because in a growing marketplace and growing city, economic city, if we place ourselves, we'll be contributing further to their growth, as well as we will be able to showcase our capabilities in the international scale. So those were some of the factors which came into deciding whether Dubai should be our a place of. Then sometimes the coincidences also happen, or when you decide to do something, things begin to fall in place. We also suddenly had a certain government to government connection, and we all know that India and UAE are some of the greatest relationships this we have. And our government officials, including the ministers who have been visiting Dubai, I think Dubai government also wanted IIM Ahmedabad there. So they also were approaching. So we got a feelers from our own government that would you be willing, because we are getting certain requests that IIT has already gone to Abu Dhabi. So Dubai wants us to have certain great institution of the similar repute there. And of course, as I said, we were mentally prepared. We were already planning and thinking about it for almost 5 6 years or nearly a decade experimenting with it, it came as a godsend opportunity. So we
Absolutely.
lapped up the opportunity, and it has become a great initiative from in a government to government relationships, where my government and their government both have so facilitated, which made life much easier for us to move into Dubai territory.
Correct. Sir, could you tell our viewers what is the plan for this campus? What kind of courses and programs will be offered to begin with?
Right. We have a very big plans, and we actually, I'll just tell you a brief history of our planning. The Dubai government officials, there's a team, and there's a team of IIM Ahmedabad professors, and they've been working together and laying out the 10 years program plan for the institute. So long-term plans are actually very large plans. At that point of time, we will become at least a 900 student campus. And in IIM terms, 900, although it may sound very small, but in IIM terms, 900 student campus is a large campus. So we intend to be that in by the time we reach 10 years. But initially we're starting small. This September we have launched, and the admission is on right now. The application process is on. One can visit the website and look at our admission application registrations, etc., and so on. So September we intend to launch a batch of about 40 to 40, 50 students, which
Okay.
is called 1 year full-time MBA program, because we don't want to overburden ourselves. We have a unique philosophy as IIMs, which is not even in best of the world institutes. We also do the career part, the career planning part of the our students,
Yes.
which rest of the Western institutes do not bother about. They say our job is to educate, and beyond that, you find a job, etc., and so on. So that's why we have chosen the batch, because we have a new market, new connections to be made there. Accordingly, then a 40 to 40, 50 students batch will be a good batch for us in the first year. But then we have a very quick plan of accelerating that. I think within a year from September, when we'll actually have the first classes, first batch classes, etc., on, we will launch at least two other programs. One is, of course, we have already surveyed the market and we've been working with the market. There's a huge demand there for a weekend MBA program,
Okay. For the
because there's a
working professionals?
for working professionals. So it'll be a physical program, but weekend program, where, because when we are talking to the corporates out there and have holding these master classes and webinars and seminars with them, they are all many of those executives are asking, we are very happy, we would like to be educated, or we like to be earning this degree from you, except I'm not in position to leave my job.
Yes.
So there's a great demand we see of the weekend MBA, and also the market requires that. So in that case, we immediately intend to launch by in the next year itself another program with a one more section of that. Then we since it's not only about the student education, we are going as a full-fledged what an academic institute should be about. So initial year itself, we'll launch two research centers.
Okay.
The first research center will be, of course, about the case writing and case development, because
Okay.
case is the methodology which we have mastered, and we teach. Our education pedagogy is through the case method. Now we have lots of cases. IIM Ahmedabad has developed almost 5,000 cases of its own. So we use others' cases as well as our cases in IIM Ahmedabad here. But then going to a Dubai market, it will be more appropriate for us to develop the cases in an emerging market of a emerging fast-growing economy of the Dubai itself and their corporations, which will be more localized and more appropriate from their perspective. So that's why in the first year itself, we'll launch the case center, where we'll start writing cases on the Dubai, so that the content which you are delivering there in the classroom in Dubai also has lots and lots of local context uh, in the education itself. So that is the one center. The other center which we are planning is that since there's a capital available there are ideas available there, and one needs to tie up such ideas where the opportunity is happening. So we intend to set up a branch of, we may call it, or a spin-off of our center, which we call in IIM Ahmedabad called IIMA Ventures, which is nothing but a center for incubation, innovation and entrepreneurship all rolled into one. So we began to call it IIMA Ventures rather than Incubation Center. So we also in the first stage itself set it up there. We are also trying to tie up this center with, they have lots of technology technology centers or technology labs in the Dubai, supported by Dubai government, where the
Okay.
ideas, the artificial intelligence, robotics ideas are actually being experimented. We will tie up from there. So there, that technology which is emerging out of this lab, our IMA Ventures will be taking it forward and converting into a go-to-market or a product, marketable product category from the technology readiness of 4 5 level of category. So objective is that we want to be a comprehensive institute,
Institute.
uh,
Yeah.
which will have case development, understanding the current organizations on one side, also experimenting and enhancing the economy on the other side by developing newer incubatees
Yeah.
and taking them forward through our IMA ventures. We have a lot more other plans, but I'll just confine myself to that. Long term, as I said, it's going to be a full-fledged large campus, but in a short term, in 1 year, we intend to at least achieve these some of these things.
So it will cater to much larger audience than students only.
Yes, yes. Objective is that we would be reintegrating ourselves as a part of the Dubai's growth. There's a Dubai government has a
Economy
D33.
of the, yeah, country.
They already have laid out for themselves that they call it Dubai 2033, so they call it D33 agenda, and we have become ourselves one of the part of their D33 agenda, which is because one aspect of that is a development of the Dubai as an educational hub. So we are the key element in their becoming an educational hub, and we would like to learn from there and so get some of those ideas in IIM Ahmedabad as well. So it will help in internationalizing the education on both sides. The India is a growing market, so for Dubai, India is internationalization, and
Yeah.
for India, Dubai and Europe and rest of the countries will be the internationalization. So we integrate. We see a great deal of uh, complementarity in the two campuses, which will feed into each other's capabilities in future.
Correct. So, what will be the faculty recruitment? How, like, if the present IIM Ahmedabad faculty will be going there, how will that work?
In the initial year, we have already, since we are already started and September is the launch of the first batch admission process on, we have already transferred one of our professors who is now established himself in Dubai.
Okay.
So in the initial year, we will have faculty members, some of the faculty members who will be permanently stationed there. But more importantly, at least the first batch will be taught fully by IIM Ahmedabad faculty.
Okay.
So we'll be commuting back and forth. People may go for 10, 15 days, do a
Yeah.
part of the work, etc., and then come back. So we don't intend to lose the culture and create a new culture there. That is why our intention is that always the dean of that school in our branch campus will also always be from IIM Ahmedabad.
IIM
And
Ahmedabad.
of course, 15, 20, few 10 years down the line, there may be enough people there who themselves will imbibe and have the same culture as IIM Ahmedabad, so they may become from there itself. But at least initial year, we want to take the culture of IIM Ahmedabad and put it there. We'll also be hiring faculty for Dubai directly,
Okay.
but then our intention is that faculty will also come back and teach here. So we are not trying to say that there are two entities. For us, there's only one entity. Back and forth teaching will always continue. I think I don't want to call it a mandatory, but more or less you may say that I expect all my Dubai hired faculty who is stationed there to come and teach at least one or two courses always in a mother campus, so
Oh, that'll
that
be great. Yeah.
they keep coming here, spend at least 2 3 months every year, continue to meet the people here as well as learn and see the growth of this campus. So it
Hmm.
will be always a two-way. Completely,
Process.
I would call it, it's a just an extension of my arm rather than anything else.
Correct, absolutely. And sir, what student demographic we are expecting at Dubai campus? Because what we see in our two IITs, which are abroad right now, IIT in Zanzibar and in Abu Dhabi,
Right.
majority of the students there are Indians, like
Right.
more than 50%. So what are we anticipating for our Dubai campus? I am
All right.
Ahmedabad's Dubai campus.
All right. It's very interesting question, because this is the talk we have been going through with the Dubai counterpart officials who are actually supporting and providing, investing in the infrastructure for IIM Ahmedabad, etc., and so on. Uh, Initial years, especially this year, we have a very short runway for admission. When I say short runway, I think you remember April beginning only I signed the agreement, and September I'm saying the classes are going to start. That means
Yeah,
mid-April itself we got some point of time admission process going, and by mid, sometimes in July we'll close the admissions.
yeah.
So we only have barely 3.5 months. Although we have already hired agencies which are actually advertising in North Africa, Middle East, meaning Gulf, GCC countries, etc., and so on. But the new name and people not even seeing the campus physically anywhere there, because the physical campus will show up. It's already getting ready by end of July. So then people can say, and here is the IIM Ahmedabad physically, the board and gate etc. is there where they can enter. So at this stage, I don't expect that whole lot of people coming in to the IIM Ahmedabad from other nationalities of that. But we are getting, interestingly, you may call them Indian, but they're all GC. Many of them are GCC residents, Gulf
Okay.
countries resident. But they happen to from Indian background because they know what IIM Ahmedabad is. So we are
Correct.
getting lots of applications. So the first batch will have lots of Indian presence there, mainly because of the short runway. The people who are know IIM Ahmedabad are already applying. So we're getting very high quality applications.
I'm
Uh,
sure.
GMAT scores of 750 and around. But they're all coming from people who already know what IIM Ahmedabad is.
Hmm.
Now, this year, that's why we are doing many of last week only I had a Pan IIM event in Middle East. So Pan IIM Association of Middle East hosted us. Harsha Bhogle also came and addressed them and so on, because he happens to be IIM Ahmedabad alum. Uh, so we are doing all that presence felt. But so next year we expect the North Africa, this Middle East, all countries, meaning the whole GCC countries,
Hmm.
as well as the CIS countries. The Dubai is focusing, and Dubai government officials are saying that rather than focusing on Europe and West, our focus should be in more of a global South.
Yeah.
So, and we also have been talking about, and as a country, we have been talking about that we want to be champion of the global South. So it suits our countries as well as our philosophy well. So next year, I would expect that uh, from India, Indians maybe about 30 to 35%,
Okay.
and 60 to 65%. I will still not say the Indian percentage may be high, but they may not be India in going from India to that place.
Yeah,
They may be
understood.
GCC country, Europe, Spain, etc., who already understand IIM Ahmedabad brand, right? Because it takes time to put your brand in others' mind. Now, if I go to CIS countries, etc., and so on, most of people probably have not heard in
Good. Yeah.
Armenia, etc., and so on, what is IIM Ahmedabad, right? Some of very highly educated people may know, but in general, people will not know. So we
Yeah.
have to establish and take about a year or two to establish our brand. We are doing master classes in various countries right now. So by
Okay.
that, we are also showcasing our faculty, that you see the class of our faculty, and they are very well attended. I think whatever hall we book normally, there's a standing crowd in the our master classes.
Yeah, because it takes time to like create awareness when you
Yeah,
move countries. It
right.
does.
Absolutely.
So
So
let us shift our focus back to India campus. We would
right.
like to know a little about the placements this time. How have been the placements at IIMs this year?
I in general, IIM placement is a see, IIMs are now at a various stages. Some of them only less than 8 or 9 years old, and
Yeah.
some of us have crossed over 60s. So we are, you can call us, we are senior citizens, and there are youngsters out there.
Yeah.
So I don't think senior citizens faced, or older IIM faced much of the problem. The the complex, that happens from every 5 or 6 years. The type of jobs, or economy grows in one direction, the jobs grow in that direction. Other times you say economy begins to grow in different dimension and jobs will go in another dimension, and so on. So I don't think we faced any major issue in job placement, etc., except that probably a bit of shift, a few percentage points from one sector to another sector, and so on. So
Is
we
there
still
any
have to think.
trend, sir?
Pardon?
Is there any new shift or trend, sir?
The trend we will be able to see after a year or two, because it's a maybe a temporary effect right now.
Hmm.
So the trend actually becomes visible when you see it for 2 or 3 years.
Hmm.
This year, for example, consulting companies, although they didn't reduce the numbers so big in our place, but I see overall the number of hired people hired from all IIMs and other management institute by consulting companies seem to be on slightly lower side. Now,
Okay.
this may be a temporary glitch.
Yeah.
Many times it happens. The previous year we did a little bit of overhiring, etc., and so on. So we need to also. There's a war going on right now. Uh,
Yeah.
at least the Ukraine war was already on, and the Israel Gaza was already on. So maybe some shifts were happening at that point of time. People are being cautious in hiring, that how many consulting projects will come from various places, etc., and so on. So, but I think if this continues, then we'll see the trend. But I'd say there was a little bit dip overall. We didn't face much because, see, still when you are hiring, reducing the number, our numbers are the last one to get reduced because of
Yeah.
the brand image and the place from where people, being a sought after place for hiring by various employers.
Yeah. So if more and more students are going for entrepreneurship, like in IIMs also every year?
Yes, I would say this year 5 students out of class meaning that out of the graduation itself, have
Hmm.
opted, and they are incubating their ideas in our own IMA ventures right now.
Okay.
We provide them support by called IMA Mavericks Scholarship. So we support them for 2 years, and those people chose the option that they will take that option of Maverick scholarship, and we are incubating them. But normally, you see, the fact is that most of people will not go for actual incubation immediately. Most of time, what happens, they come back to us. So normally they will go back and do a work for 2 years or 3 years. Then they'll get the idea. They'll also form their peer team, and it need not be the classmate. Their classmates here. There may be a combination of some IIT graduate, technology professional and a management professional, and then they begin to look at, no, we are done with the job. I've already tasted what a corporate job looks like. I want to pursue my idea, and then they come back after 2 3 years. So our IMA venture is running full seats right now, which itself means that there's no shortage of people trying to pursue the new ideas even today. Uh, but as I
Absolutely.
said, IMA venture will remain full because of its support and its past successes. So overall, it's not indicative of the country scenario. Maybe the other smaller incubation centers may have a different kind of issues. But we have not faced any challenge in uh, reduction or any slowdown in people coming up with the ideas, trying to pursue their ideas, etc., and so on.
Sir, my last question will be about the IIM Amendment Act 2023. Sir, after that, if like the functioning of IIM and the autonomy it was having so far, all the IIMs, I should say, so it
Right.
has been impacted in any way?
The autonomy is not impacted at all. One needs to relook at what amendment is all about. So it has impacted few things, but it's not the functioning of a IIM directly. Uh, 2018 or 17 Act, whatever it's called, I think, effective from 18, but I think it's
Yeah.
called IMF 17. So that it gave the complete autonomy and uh, to the IM Act. Now in 23 amendment, none of that has been taken away. What has been taken away is the appointment of the chairman, board, and director.
Yeah.
So As far as once you are appointed director, you have the same degree of autonomy which you had earlier. Once you are appointed a chairman of the board, you have the same degree of autonomy which you had earlier. Only issue I think which came to the mind of may have come into the mind of government. I don't know. I have no insight thinking what they thought that by giving up even chairman, board member, all the appointment, they divested of the whole IIM system away from the government. So maybe they just decided that still there should be some connection with the government that at least chairman and director should be appointed by the
Visitor.
government. And
Yeah.
that's what happened earlier also. Except for that 3 years window, its chairman and director have always been appointed not by government, I would say, but by clearance of the government.
Yeah.
That final decision is final consent is always by the government. So panel is still even today director selection panel. The board prepares a panel of 3 persons, send it to the government, and the government picks one out of them.
So there is no major difference in the day-to-day functioning.
Otherwise, in our day-to-day functioning, there's absolutely nothing. So, if you are somebody wanted to be chairman of the board or somebody wanted to be director, their appointment process is going to be completely
Right.
affected. It has been affected. But our
Uh,
operation, academic operation, financial autonomy, even in the act we were governed by the salary structures, etc., and so on, of the government. So that still was there in that act, and it remains in today's act. As far as day to day, what we pursue, which area we pursue, which programs we pursue, has not been a issue at all. It's we have functioned. I would say not today. All these decades, even before it and after it, we have functioned with that kind of autonomy, and it continues to be. We continue to be functioning in the same degree of autonomy.
I'm sure. Thank you so much for joining us, Professor Bhasker. It was really nice to have this conversation with you for the print.
Sure. Thank you, Faria.